A teenage girl, Elise, is being forced through a baptism for the dead ritual. Masked figures in white surround her. The atmosphere is suffocating. As the priest dunks her underwater, something goes wrong. Underwater, Elise sees it, a gnarled, decaying face with hollow eyes staring directly at her. The candles in the room extinguish simultaneously. Before she passes out, she gets a single glimpse of pure evil. This is our introduction to LaRue. Welcome to Diabolic. I'm CinemaSnap, and today we're breaking down this 2025 Australian religious horror film that takes the possession genre and gives it a disturbing new twist. Fair warning, full spoilers ahead. Let's dive in. 10 years later, Elise Decker, played by Elizabeth Cullen, is now a 20-something artist living with her boyfriend, Adam. On the surface, she's escaped the FLDS. She has a secular life, a career, a relationship. But the trauma didn't stay in Haventon. Elise suffers from debilitating blackouts. These aren't just memory lapses. During these episodes, she becomes violent, erratic, and completely unaware of her actions. Director Daniel J. Phillips shows us these moments through Elise's perspective, the sudden disorientation, the gaps in time, the fear of not knowing what she's done. Her relationship with Adam, played by John Kim, is crumbling under the weight of her condition. Their sex life is non-existent. Adam tries to be supportive, patient, understanding, but there's only so much one person can take. We see his frustration, his fear, and his genuine love for Elise warring in every interaction. The blackouts escalate. Elise finds herself digging in their backyard with her bare hands as if searching for something buried deep underground. She kills their neighbor's dog during one episode. Her behavior becomes increasingly animalistic, primal. Something is trying to get out. Elise's therapist gives her an ultimatum: institutionalization or exposure therapy. But not just any exposure therapy. He suggests she return to the source of her trauma, the FLDS compound at Haventon. He believes her blackouts are repressed memories from her time in the church, and that confronting them with the help of the community's healers might be her only cure. Adam is vehemently opposed. He sees the danger in returning to the people who caused her trauma. But Elise is desperate. She'd rather face her demons than be locked in a psych ward. She calls her best friend Gwen, played by Mia Chalice, who immediately volunteers to come along for support. The trio prepares for a journey into Elise's darkest memories. The drive to Haventon is a masterclass in atmospheric dread. Drone shots show the car winding through endless pine forests, the isolation becoming palpable. When they finally arrive, the baptismal shack is still standing, abandoned, decayed, but unmistakably the same place from Elise's nightmares. Inside, the church is frozen in time. Dust covers everything. The baptismal font sits in the center like a dark altar. As Elise explores, Gwen tries to provide moral support, but the weight of the place is overwhelming. This is where Elise's trauma began. Elise discovers a small room adjacent to the baptismal font. On the wall, she finds engravings, her own name carved alongside another, Clara. She finds old photographs of herself with a young woman she doesn't recognize. The memories are locked away, but the evidence remains. Through flashbacks, we learn about Clara, played by Luca Astar Sardellis. She was the bishop's daughter. Young Elise and Clara were inseparable, playing in the woods, sharing secrets, their friendship deepening into something more. In a community where homosexuality was considered a sin, punishable by excommunication, their relationship was dangerous. Enter Hiram, played by Robin Goldsworthy, a young FLDS member who harbored unrequited feelings for Elise. When he discovers Elise and Clara in the forest, intimate, laughing, in love, his heartbreak turns to rage. He reports them to the church elders. Elise's parents inform her she's being cast out, But the betrayal cuts deeper when she learns Clara denied their relationship, claiming Elise forced her into it. In a fit of rage and heartbreak, Elise confronts Clara at their favorite spot, a swing in the woods. The argument escalates. Elise chokes Clara to death. This is the crucial revelation. Elise didn't just suffer trauma in the FLDS, she committed murder. The darkness inside her, the rage and despair, made her the perfect host for LaRue. When she was baptized that night, the witch didn't just attack her, she recognized a kindred spirit. Back in 2025, the healers arrive. Hiram, older but still carrying that unrequited longing, and his mother Alma, played by Genevieve Moy. Alma is stern, devout, and clearly the one in charge. They claim they can help Elise through a cleansing ritual involving datura, a powerful hallucinogenic plant. The ritual begins at dusk. Hiram and Alma prepare the baptismal font, drawing mystical symbols around the church. They explain that Elise's blackouts are the result of a spiritual parasite, LaRue, a witch who was killed by the FLDS founders and buried beneath the baptismal font. Her spirit has been feeding on Elise's guilt and trauma for 10 years. Elise drinks the hallucinogenic mixture. The effects are immediate and violent. She vomits blood, her body convulses. Through the haze, she begins to see the truth, fragments of her repressed memories surfacing, the baptism, the murder, LaRue's face in the water. Alma performs the extraction. Using Elise's own blood, she draws complex symbols on Elise's stomach. She chants in a language that predates the FLDS. Then, in a moment of visceral body horror, Alma reaches into Elise's mouth and pulls out a thick column of solidified hair and flesh, LaRue's physical manifestation in Elise's body. The scene is shot with practical effects, making it feel disturbingly real. Elise gasps, choking as Alma pulls the parasite from her throat. When it's finally out, Elise collapses, gasping for air. She feels lighter, cleaner. For the first time in years, she's free. Hiram and Alma depart quickly, warning Adam, Elise, and Gwen to leave Haventon immediately. The ritual has weakened LaRue, but the spirit is angry. As they drive away, Alma looks haunted. She knows they've made a terrible mistake. Adam is relieved, celebratory. He raises a toast to Elise's recovery, but Elise isn't celebrating. The ritual unlocked her memories, and now she's remembering Clara. Not just their relationship, the murder. The guilt comes crashing down. Elise runs into the woods, desperate to find Clara's grave, to confirm what she's remembering. Adam chases her, confused and frustrated. They have a heated confrontation where Adam questions her loyalty, her past, her relationship with Clara. Elise can't explain. She doesn't fully understand herself yet. When Elise returns to the church, she sees something that breaks her heart. Through a crack in the window, she witnesses Adam and Gwen kissing, her boyfriend and her best friend betraying her in the place of her deepest trauma. The pain is overwhelming. Heartbroken and desperate, Elise discovers a locked cellar door behind the church. She finds a key in the woods, placed there, we later realize, by LaRue's influence. She descends into the darkness, the steps leading deep underground. At the bottom, she finds Clara. Except it's not Clara, it's LaRue wearing Clara's face. The witch has been using Elise's guilt, her memories, her love for Clara to lure her deeper. Elise, traumatized and emotional, doesn't question why Clara hasn't aged. She just wants forgiveness. "Dig," LaRue whispers, and Elise digs. She unearths a skeleton, not Clara's, but LaRue's own remains, buried beneath the baptismal font for centuries. As the bones are exposed, LaRue's power grows. Her gnarled face regenerates, gaining eyeballs, becoming whole. Elise has just given the witch everything she needed. Elise collapses, the realization of what she's done hitting her too late. LaRue is fully manifested. The church above begins to shake. The witch's power floods through the building, and her first targets are the people who betrayed Elise. Gwen, trying to flee, gets trapped in the small room beside the baptismal font. Through the window, she sees a figure in pink FLDS matron robes, the same robes Alma wore, but it's not Alma, it's LaRue. Gwen screams as the witch approaches. Gwen makes it to Adam's car and tries to drive away, but as she speeds down the dark road, Elise appears standing in her path, wearing the same pink robes, her eyes completely black. She isn't Elise anymore. LaRue has taken full control. Elise shatters the windshield with superhuman strength. She grabs Adam's hand and breaks it. Then, using a sharpened bone, she impales Gwen through the chest.
The death is brutal, visceral, and final. Gwen pays the price for her betrayal. Back at the church, Adam finds Hiram has returned. Sensing the danger, Hiram tries to perform a protective ritual, praying desperately to his faith. But his faith is no match for LaRue. Elise appears behind him, and with a single motion, she kills him. The death is spectacularly gory. LaRue doesn't just kill Hiram, she obliterates him. Blood sprays across the baptismal font, body parts scatter. The practical effects here are intense, showing LaRue's full fury unleashed. Adam is the last one standing. He faces Elise, hoping to reach the woman he loves. For a moment, he sees her eyes, the real Elise struggling beneath the surface. But then the black returns. LaRue grins through Elise's mouth, and we know it's over. Elise takes Adam's face in her hands, gently, almost lovingly. Then she crushes his skull with inhuman force. The sound is sickening. Adam drops to the floor, dead. LaRue has claimed her final victim. The film jumps forward 1 month. We're at a new FLDS compound. Children in white robes line up for baptism. A bishop leads them into a chapel. The cycle continues. The church persists. The trauma repeats. A figure in pink matron robes joins the procession. For a moment, we think it might be Elise, survived, recovered, trying to help. But then she turns to the camera. The eyes are completely black. The face breaks into an evil grin. It's not Elise. It was never Elise. LaRue has won. She's wearing Elise's body like a suit, and she's ready to feed again. The final image is pure nightmare fuel, a monster hiding in plain sight, ready to claim more victims. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more horror analysis. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back.